You've always known there was something different about you, something they couldn't understand, something they feared. While the world tried to box you in, you were quietly observing, learning, growing. They thought they were the hunters, but you were never their prey. Every misstep they made, every pattern they thought was invisible, you saw it all. You've turned knowledge into your edge, strategy into your strength. Now, it's your time. The tables aren't just turning, they're flipping entirely. The shadows they once used to hide now move at your command. The storm isn't something you're running from, it's what you've become. This is your moment to show them that their power was nothing but an illusion. You are the force they underestimated, the one who rises not just to survive, but to dominate. Feel it, the energy, the fire within you. This isn't just about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself what you've always known. You're not ordinary, you're chosen. And this is your reckoning. The reckoning begins when quiet observation becomes a weapon, sharper than any blade. They strutted through life, convinced their grasp of control was unbreakable, blind to the watchful gaze dissecting every flaw in their carefully crafted facade. While they danced arrogantly, thinking themselves untouchable, you unraveled their patterns with surgical precision. Their overconfidence was merely a mask for the chaos they didn't know was closing in. They underestimated your stillness, a deceptive stillness that collected their missteps like threads in a web, weaving each into a trap of their own making. What they thought was power became fuel for your transformation. Victory is rarely claimed by those who charge recklessly. It belongs to those who understand patience as the truest form of dominance. While they wielded brute strength like a hammer, your strategy moved like a well-oiled machine, silent, unyielding, and purposeful. Every step they took toward control was met with the unseen boundaries you had already drawn. They assumed weakness in your restraint, blind to the storm, brewing beneath the calm. As their arrogance widened the distance between their perception and reality, you quietly guided them to the threshold of their downfall. The control they thought was theirs was nothing more than bait, subtly laid to lead them into their own undoing. A predator doesn't waste energy chasing the wind. It studies, adapts, and strikes with precision. Where others would panic or scatter, you held steady, learning the intricacies of your opponent's every movement. Their habits, once their strengths, were rendered vulnerabilities as you mapped the battlefield on your terms. The terrain, whether physical or mental, became your ally, camouflaging intention behind the guise of inevitability. By the time they grasped the magnitude of your foresight, they had already become trapped in a web of their own design. Your power was not in physical dominance, but in an unrelenting ability to turn knowledge into calculated action. The strongest armor is not made of steel, but of clarity and intention. You no longer feared hesitation. It was discarded, replaced by a purpose so sharp it could slice through the noise of doubt. What they mistook for retreat was nothing more than the deliberate sharpening of instincts in the quiet of preparation. Where their bravado roared, your silence whispered an unshakable truth. Not all who wait are prey. They cast taunts like stones into an abyss, unable to see the vastness of the force that lay waiting beyond their reach. Their bravado was smoke in the wind, fleeting and powerless against the unyielding strength of your resolve. Mastery is born from a calm mind and precise decisions, not from the chaotic fires of vengeance. True strength lies in the quiet command of timing, waiting, observing, and knowing exactly when to act. It wasn't brute emotion, or reckless fury that drove your actions. It was a profound understanding of how to dismantle their foundation piece by piece. You didn't respond to their arrogance with noise, but with an unshakable determination. The moment they faltered, you were ready, striking not with a roar, but with the subtlety of a whisper that shattered their illusions. You turned their sense of control into fragile glass, breaking it without leaving a trace of your effort. Each corner of your environment spoke a language they couldn't comprehend. While they relied on their tools and machinery, you became fluent in the hidden rhythms of the world around you. The overlooked details, the scuff of a shoe on uneven ground, the forgotten crack on an unnoticed wall, painted a map they couldn't access. They trusted circuits and screens, but you trusted intuition and awareness. Their technology may have given them precision, but it blinded them to the human pulse beneath the surface. Where they sought simplicity, you found depth, and it was in that depth that you forged your path. Control isn't seized through force, it's gently pried loose through the tiniest cracks of doubt. The most imperceptible shifts, like an unexpected book moved on a desk or an unnoticed light flicker, unsettled their sense of order. These were not accidents, but deliberate moves that unraveled their confidence thread by thread. People fear what they can't place into neat boxes, and you let their own minds weave the web of their unraveling. Their battle wasn't against you, but against the growing shadow of uncertainty in their thoughts. Their dependence on technology was their undoing. You saw the flaws in their systems, the blind angles where cameras couldn't reach, the interruptions in signals they believed impenetrable. You slipped through these gaps like vapor through cracks, leaving no trace. They became prisoners of their own machines, haunted by echoes of movement they couldn't confirm, and whispers of shadows they couldn't locate. By the time they realized their tools had betrayed them, you were already 2 steps ahead, unseen and untouchable. Their fear wasn't of you directly, it was of the unstoppable force they imagined you to be. As they flailed to reassert their dominance, you stood firm, a quiet sentinel in the chaos they created for themselves. No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. Isaiah 54:17. You are not just chosen. You are equipped, fortified, and guided by a purpose greater than any opposition you face. Like a lighthouse in the storm, your light shines, unwavering, piercing through the darkness that surrounds them. They cannot touch you because you are not standing on sinking sand, but on a foundation built by resilience, wisdom, and faith. What truly shakes them is not what they see, but what they feel, an unseen force they cannot name or control. It's not your voice that unsettles them, it's your silence. It's not your shadow they fear, it's your light. You didn't have to meet them head-on. Their own doubt became the crack in their armor. With every misstep, every hurried move, they became entangled in a web of their own making, one that you quietly wove with precision. What they thought was their territory, their domain, became a labyrinth of subtle traps where each wrong turn tightened your hold. They believed in their tools, their machines, their systems, but you trusted something deeper, the pulse of life itself. Dear brothers and sisters, the peace of God be with you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporary concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, You are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this gesture will come back to you 100-fold in abundance. While they overlooked the people who made the world turn, the vendors, the couriers, the janitors, you saw their value. The humble, the ignored, the unseen became your allies. Their small observations, pieced together, became a map no algorithm could replicate. They underestimated the power of the everyday, the strength of the unnoticed. In doing so, they handed you the advantage without even realizing it. Patience is your greatest weapon. Like water carving stone, you didn't rush, didn't stumble, and didn't falter. Every move you made was deliberate. Every moment of stillness, a calculated act of control. You let time do the heavy lifting, allowing their own anxiety to eat away at their confidence. A delay here, an adjustment there, each one carefully placed to sow seeds of doubt. As they tried to hold their ground, their footing slipped, not because of a direct attack, but because they no longer trusted themselves. Their fear became their compass, but it only led them further astray. While they chased phantoms, you stood steady, just out of reach, letting them exhaust themselves in their own chaos. You didn't need to raise your voice or make a spectacle. Their unraveling became your victory. Their world, once so controlled, began to crumble under the weight of their missteps, and you watched, unmoved, as they stumbled further into the maze you had quietly designed. The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Psalm 118:22. They underestimated you, dismissed you, and counted you out. But what they didn't realize was that their rejection became your redirection. You were never meant to fight their battles by their rules. You were destined to rise above, to build something new, something unstoppable. You were not only chosen, you were called to lead. Your patience, your quiet strength, your unshakable resolve, these are the tools of the hunter, the foundation of the storm they never saw coming. Let them falter, let them crumble, let them run. You are not pursuing vengeance, you are walking in purpose. Every step you take is a testament to your strength, a beacon for those still waiting in the shadows. This is not just your victory. It's a reminder that no matter how dark it seems, light always finds a way. You are the proof that what was once broken can be made whole, that what was hunted can become the hunter. Claim this moment, stand tall. You are chosen, not by chance, but by destiny. And your journey doesn't end here. It is only the beginning. Patience reveals cracks, where haste sees only strength. They thrived on rapid results and instant control, but you denied them both. Each of their attempts faltered, not because you resisted outright, but because you maneuvered beyond their reach. Their belief in quick conquest unraveled as they stumbled into exhaustion, chasing the illusion of victory. You waited, not as an observer, but as a strategist, calculating each move with precision. Their frustration became your leverage, and your stillness, a quiet force, amplified their every mistake. Time was not your opponent, but your ally, bending in your favor as their defenses crumbled under their own missteps. You didn't need theatrics to assert dominance. Your methodical actions spoke louder than any show of force. Whispers of your calculated precision rippled through their ranks, unsettling them with truths their brute strength could never counter. Victory was never about their fall, but about exposing the frailty of their structure. You dismantled them piece by piece, eroding their confidence until it was nothing but a brittle shell. It wasn't a single decisive blow, but a sequence of deliberate disruptions that shattered their operations. Logistics unraveled, resources slipped away, and communications broke apart, leaving them isolated. Each anomaly they dismissed as coincidence revealed a deeper reality. You were always 2 steps ahead. Your influence spread without the need for declarations. Paranoia filled the void, painting you as an omnipresent force they couldn't comprehend. They couldn't name you in their stories of defeat, but your impact was undeniable. Their carefully constructed image of power was nothing but a fragile mirage, crumbling as they realized their reliance on systems they barely understood. Each failure added to their narrative, turning their once unshakable dominance into a series of avoidable mistakes magnified by your strategic brilliance. Dominance is only as strong as the illusion that sustains it. They thrived on creating an image of invulnerability, blind to the subtle fractures forming beneath their layers of control. Their reliance on mechanisms, their overconfidence in structures designed to shield them, made them fragile in ways they never anticipated. What they perceived as their greatest strength, an impenetrable barrier, was little more than a brittle shell. When those systems faltered, the foundation of their power collapsed, not with a dramatic crash, but with the slow, inevitable crumble of something hollow. Exposure was their deepest dread. The fear of having their carefully curated facade peeled away to reveal the raw, unprepared truth underneath. You didn't confront them outright. Instead, their fear ate away at them from within, leaving them unraveling under its weight. Feel what it truly means to be chosen. You're not alone on this journey. If deep down you feel that you're chosen, you've come to the right place. Take the next step in connecting with us, unlocking exclusive content, and receiving the support you need on your spiritual path by clicking the Join button. This isn't just about being part of a community. It's about accessing unique insights that can transform your life and bring you closer to your divine calling. Make the choice today and walk this journey with us. Claim your place among the chosen ones. Join now. Desperation is loud and clumsy, and it betrays itself with every move. Their attempts to reclaim control were frantic, each decision driven by panic rather than strategy. What they counted as assets, connections, infrastructure, resources, became the very framework of their undoing. You dismantled it incrementally, letting their arrogance serve as the catalyst for collapse. The safety they sought in alliances turned to liabilities. Their elaborate defenses became traps of their own making. They didn't fall because you struck harder. They fell because they couldn't maintain the facade of control any longer. Scrambling to distract, they tried to throw obstacles in your way, hoping chaos would obscure their vulnerability. But chaos is no match for clarity. While they flailed in confusion, you moved with deliberate purpose, turning their every misstep into an opportunity to tighten your hold. Manipulation is a tool of the desperate, and even that proved insufficient against resolve. Their whispered lies and calculated deceptions unraveled when confronted with undeniable truth. Where they sought to deceive, you responded with precision and action, striking at the heart of their intentions without hesitation. The reinforcements they called upon exposed their dependency further, showing that alliances forged from convenience lack the strength to endure pressure. The more they struggled to escape, the more deeply they ensnared themselves, their fear blinding them to the inevitability of their downfall. Fear does not simply paralyze, it corrodes every decision, undermining judgment and amplifying weakness. As their carefully worn masks began to crack, the reality they sought to hide clawed its way to the surface, unrelenting and unmerciful. In the end, it was their own panic, not your strength, that sealed their fate. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. You were never meant to be small, never meant to shrink beneath the weight of their illusions. They tried to cage you with lies, to mask their own fragility with control, but they underestimated the truth you carry. What they built to hold you down could never contain you. Like a seed planted in the dark, you grew stronger, preparing for the moment when their walls would crumble under the weight of their own deception. Their greatest fear isn't you, it's the truth you bring. The fortress they built, so grand and impenetrable in their eyes, was never more than a fragile shell. You didn't have to shatter it with force. Their panic did the work for you. Every desperate move they made, every rushed decision, only exposed the cracks they had tried to hide. Missteps and oversights, once unthinkable, now littered their path, revealing vulnerabilities they thought didn't exist. Their precision disintegrated, their grip slipped, and their fear became the fuel for your quiet rise. The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Psalm 118:22. True strength doesn't shout or demand attention. It moves with purpose and clarity. What began as a fight for survival transformed into something far greater, a rebalancing of the chaos they once thrived on. You didn't just sidestep their traps, you rewrote the rules of their game. While they relied on force and intimidation, you leaned on strategy, insight, and patience. Their arrogance became your opportunity, their chaos, your foundation. This was never about revenge. Revenge is fleeting, but purpose is eternal. You didn't seek to destroy them. You sought to restore what they disrupted. Strength isn't about towering over others. It's about the confidence that comes from knowing who you are and what you're called to do. Every hesitation became an opportunity. Every moment of doubt transformed into a step forward. What they saw as your weakness became the cornerstone of your power. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Jeremiah 29:11. They thought the story ended when you escaped their grasp, but that was only the beginning. You didn't just survive their traps, you turned them into stepping stones. Their control, so carefully constructed, was never as strong as they believed. And you proved that true power doesn't come from force, but from alignment with purpose. The legacy you're building isn't just for you. It's for those still waiting in the shadows, watching for a sign that they too can rise. Let them run. Let them falter. Let them crumble under the weight of the truth they can no longer hide. Your power isn't found in destruction. It's found in the hope you inspire. You are no longer the hunted. You are the hunter, not out of anger, but out of purpose. The journey doesn't end here. It begins now. The first will be last, and the last will be first. Matthew 20:16. What they saw as rejection, God used for elevation. Every setback became a setup for your rise. They misjudged your silence as weakness, your stillness as surrender. But they didn't see the strength growing beneath the surface. You were waiting, preparing, and becoming the storm they never anticipated. Now the balance has shifted, and the narrative is yours to write. This isn't about proving them wrong. It's about stepping fully into who you were meant to be. You were chosen for this, and no lie, no illusion can stand against the truth you carry. So step forward, not with vengeance, but with purpose. Lead the way, and let your story be the light for others to follow. The hunt is yours. The moment is now, and your legacy is just beginning. Transformation redefines the story, shifting the focus from individual survival to collective empowerment. This journey was never about revenge. It was about creating a foundation where others wouldn't have to endure the chaos you faced. You became the steady force that balanced the scales, a challenger to the unchecked destruction they once thought was their right. They who believed themselves untouchable were brought down by precision and resolve. Your legacy doesn't rest on destruction. It's built on the possibility you ignite in others. You turned the narrative of victimhood into one of strength, proving that what was hunted can rise to reshape its own destiny. Each step you took became a lesson for those hidden in the shadows, showing them that adversity doesn't have to be the end. It can be the beginning. Your actions demonstrated that resilience is not about survival alone, but about turning pain into purpose. Through quiet determination, you offered a living testament. Fear doesn't have to control, and challenges don't have to define. The essence of power lies not in reacting to threats, but in controlling the rhythm of every interaction. Mastery isn't the end of a journey. It's the art of shaping each step into something greater than the last. You didn't just escape their traps. You rewrote the very landscape they thought they controlled. While they relied on dominance and intimidation, you drew strength from knowledge and understanding. This was never a quest for vengeance. It was about restoring harmony where chaos had thrived unchecked. True power is found in silence and confidence, in the unwavering control of one's own decisions. Your transformation was not just a personal victory, it became a catalyst for others. Those watching from the edges of defeat found hope in your triumphs, realizing that the same strength could rise within them. Through action, not words, you showed that power is not given, it's claimed. Growth is unending, and mastery is a constant evolution. Once control is claimed, the path only becomes more challenging, introducing unforeseen obstacles and adversaries. What you achieved yesterday prepared you, but it won't be enough for what lies ahead. Each victory brings new trials, not just stronger opponents, but those who are smarter, more unpredictable, and determined to find weaknesses in your methods. This doesn't deter you, it refines you. Every new challenge sharpens your instincts, pushing you to adapt and grow. Stagnation isn't an option. Mastery requires movement, an ever-forward momentum that embraces change and thrives in the face of adversity. Leadership isn't a position, it's a choice, a weight borne willingly, because you know the importance of what's at stake. Your actions ripple outward, inspiring those around you to rise and proving that strength can grow even in the harshest conditions. The pursuit of balance is unending, but in that pursuit lies the truest form of power. The pursuit was never merely about survival. It has always been about safeguarding the balance, ensuring that power remains deserved and earned, never taken through deceit or force. The pursuit continues endlessly because vigilance, growth, and purpose are perpetual needs. Each step forward solidifies your legacy, not as an individual victory, but as the groundwork for those who will follow. They once saw you as prey, caged and defeated, misinterpreting quiet resilience as surrender. Yet they failed to perceive the strength gathering beneath your calm exterior, the determination, the clarity, the unyielding precision. What they misjudged as vulnerability was simply preparation. They couldn't comprehend what it truly means to endure and rise with unwavering strength. Their illusions obscured the truth. You have become the storm they could never contain. You turned their tactics against them. Fear transformed into your weapon. Their manipulations into crystal-clear opportunities. Their traps into your tools. You dismantled their hubris not through chaos or force, but through deliberate and calculated mastery. Each step you took reclaimed the story they tried to control. Each action redefined the flow of power, shifting the dynamic irreversibly. Now they flee, not from retaliation, but from the inevitability of your presence, a presence that watches, analyzes, and closes in with precision. This journey isn't about vengeance, it's about proving your place as a force beyond their reach. Their collapse isn't a declaration of anger, but a testament to your strength. Their attempts to flee won't save them from the weight of what you've become. Your transformation is an inspiration for those still in the shadows, waiting for a sign that they too can rise. The hunt isn't merely about chasing, it's about leading. Share the path you've carved. Let others see the journey from powerless to powerful, and awaken those who doubt their own potential. The hunt doesn't end. It continues, with you at the forefront, guiding others into the light of their own strength.